Hello everyone, welcome to this video. In the last couple of videos I talked about private Azure DNS. In this one I wanted to focus on the public DNS that the Azure offers. Like everything, I just searched for the public DNS in Azure, and over here I have one link, Azure DNS. I'm going to go there, and this one is going to give you a little bit of information about what it is. So it's a DNS hosted alongside your applications, ultra high availability, fast DNS queries, quick updates to DNS records, and support all common DNS record types. That means MX, NS, A record, quad A record, PTA record, anything you can think of, service record, they're all, you can use it. So some more information about those points. So staying over here, you can also click on feature. It goes here. You can go to security and why do you trust your DNS? Microsoft invests more than $1 billion annually on cybersecurity, and then 3,500 more security experts. That's unbelievable. And then go to the pricing. No upfront cost, no termination fees, and you only pay for what you use. And the pricing is, it's not that much. You can go there and take a look at it. The next thing that I like is the getting started one. So if you go there, you need an account, which I already have. Then you can go, and they have really quick 5-minute quick start, and I absolutely love them. And here's the documentation. So what you need to do, you need to click on the documentation one. So that will take you the even more detailed documentation page where you have overview what is Azure DNS, and then how host your domain on Azure DNS, all that stuff. So what I wanted to focus on this lab in this video is go through the quick start. Okay, create Azure DNS Zone and record. So to that, I'm going to click on this link. That takes me to the place where we want to really begin this video. It's a quick start, create an Azure DNS Zone and record using Azure portal. So what you have here in this example, uh, they have a sample website, contoso.xyz, okay, to the IP address of your web server. So we want to configure that domain, and we're going to point to the server that I have, that I'm going to host in my Azure. Okay, so it's saying important all the names and IP address in this quick start are examples. They do not represent the real world scenario. So what we'll do, we'll try to get some real world scenario. Okay, so the first thing what we need to do, we're going to go and log into our Azure and create a DNS zone. Let's see if this is where I'm already logged in or not. So no, not here. So let's say in this is the page where I'm already logged in. Okay, so let me get this out, get this one out, get this one out. So here I'm already in my Azure. I'm going to create a new resource, and what we'll do, we're going to follow this quick start as closely as possible. Create a resource, networking DNS zone, create a DNS zone. Okay, so over here let's just say a DNS zone, and right there is DNS zone. I'm going to start there, and just like anything else in Azure, hit on create, and that should give me the wizard. It says a DNS zone is used to host DNS records for a particular domain. Okay, for example, the domain contoso.com may contain a number of DNS records such as mail.contoso.com, www.contoso.com. Azure DNS allows you to host your DNS zone and manage your DNS records, and provides name servers that will respond to DNS queries. So what resource group are you going to create this one? Let's see, create resource DNS zone. Name, they're saying use contoso.xyz. Name, I'm just gonna use, let's see, bengali.com. Okay, that is what I'm gonna use. Let's move to the next one, and then create new, enter my resource group. I may already have this name already, so I'm gonna use my resource. Well, it's not there, so I think that should be good. And resource group location we want, let's see if they're assigning a location. East US 2. We're just gonna call it East US is fine. East US. Okay, this zone is a style of an existing zone already hosted in Azure. It's now I have not hosted anything, so I'm not going to do anything in that one. And then just create a review and create. and it should create the zone for me. Like while this is getting created, let's see if I have my bengali.org is the right one here. So this is one of my web providers where I have a domain name that I purchased a long time back, and we're going to use this as a real life example. So let's see the one that we just created, BNGALW, that matches, so that's good. So now hit create. So this domain name, unlike what the tutorial says that does not exist, my domain name actually exists. See the benefit of watching my video. All right, so in this one, go to resource, and what you see, this is a DNS zone. Okay, this is a DNS zone for my website, and you have a NS record and a SOA record are hosted here. And what do we do? Here's 4 different name servers that we can use for this DNS name resolution. Okay, you can click on as child zone. You can move this. You can add record set, and here probably we're gonna work on a little bit. And you can it supports all kinds of records: A, quad A, CAA, CNAME, which is for the alias, MX for the mail, NS for the name server, SRV for any services that you're running, text record, or pointer for the reverse lookup. All right, let's close this. Yeah, we're not configuring this, so okay is fine here. So let's come back here, see what they have done. So here they're saying, okay, let's create a record. Okay, so let's create a record and add the record set page. So let's see if they're actually giving us any description now. So let's just create a record and name they're saying www. Okay, so that is the a record that points back to your website. A record is fine, and then a record and TTL is okay. IP address for the quick start example, type 10.0.0.10. So I'm not gonna do this. Okay, I'm also gonna use the IP address that I already have within Azure, and this is saying this value is the IP address that record name resolves to. In a real world scenario, you would enter a public IP address. So if you notice, I have a couple of virtual machine already running. So let's just get one of the right IP address because we want to be as real as possible. So let's just open up the portal, virtual machine. Let's just use VM3. Okay, if I use VM3, this is my IP address of that virtual machine. So let's just copy this. Then Control C, copy. And over here, I'm going to point to that particular virtual machine. Okay, and then say, okay, it should add a record. So what I'm trying to say, if I go to www.bengali.org, okay, I made a mistake. I created for the bengali.com, it should be bengali.org. So let's redo this one real quick. So go back. What I want to do, really go to the resource group and go to get rid of this one real quick. Okay, because I want to fix this before we make too many mistakes, and that way you are learning how to get rid of a DNS zone. Okay, so you just did that. All it's doing, click on create and DNS zone and get a DNS zone, hit create, and bengali.org is what I have, and not com, and make sure it is org. Okay, so resource group is still good, EastUS is still good, and hit review and create. So it doesn't take any time, so let's just fix that. So once I have that, we can go in. Now the question that I was going to ask, so we are stating, okay, go ahead and use this public IP address. Okay, but if I go there, you should not see anything because there is nothing running. So to really able to test it, we need to install at least the IIS inside the machine. Okay, so we'll do that. So this is now done. Go over here and just recreate the record set, call it www. Now it's pointing to bengali.org. That is good, that's what we wanted, and that's the right IP address. So now I'm happy. and create OK. So now that's done. So let's see what else they're doing. So that's done. Now they're saying test the name resolution. To test the name resolution, you can enter and then filter by name. Copy one of the name server's name in the server list in overview page and open the command prompt and run the following command and name the server name. So let's just at least try to do that and see if this is working. So NS lookup, oh well, CMD you gotta do, and then let's do NS lookup, and then do, it should not do anything though because it's gonna go to my website because I have not done anything on my domain register, and it's right now it's pointing back to a completely different domain. So it's pointing to a different domain. It's not pointing to our domain in Azure. So what I want you to do, if you have a DNS record, okay, so what we'll do, we'll get the DNS info. Just take one of these. Any, you can take any of these names. Typically, your web hosting provider, they will let you use at least two. So I'm using one and one. I'm just gonna go and change that to ns136 azure.dns.com. So that is what I am gonna use, and hit save. Let's see what happens. Now it's telling me to log in, so let's just log in, and I'm just gonna update this, and once the update is done, I'll be back. Actually, what it's saying inside my one and one, I have two MX records, right? That's what I told you that they typically give you. So I'm going to change both of them. Actually, not MX record. I want to change the NS record. Where is my NS record? Name server. See, here is my name server, and it says they use the custom name server. So instead of using these name servers, what I want to use here. So I'm going to provide the Azure DNS. That's the first one. So let's get the next one, provide the next one, and that the dot at the end is fine. If you can keep it, it should be all right. If you keep that one, just click get the third one, provide that, and get the fourth one and provide that and hit save. So now it's saying that it can take up to 48 hours to for this change to take effect, but usually you don't need to wait that long. Okay, so while this is going on, we'll do some other work, but just know that for this particular website, bengali.org, now I'm using Azure DNS to do my work. So let's see what else can we do. So at this time, let's install a web server. IIS install command PowerShell. So that's all you need to search. Let's see, what is the command that you need? So you're gonna get the command and we're gonna search the command. So this is what I need. So get the command, go to your, which VM did we use? We used the VM3, didn't we? So if we did use VM3, so first of all we're gonna use that IP. Okay, log into that particular VM. Okay, let's see. Okay, right now there's nothing hosted, so you're not seeing anything, right? If you click enter, there's nothing there. So what we'll do, we'll try to connect to this particular virtual machine. And accept the certificate. Once it's there, we're gonna run this command inside the virtual machine. So where am I? We are here. So this is our virtual machine that I logged in. Let's see, I always type like host name in here to make sure where I am. I'm on the VM3, that is good. So in here I want to run the other command that I copied from here. Let's see if it works. Okay, so what it's doing, install Windows feature name web server, include management tool. That's good, that's all we want. So hit enter, and this should install your web server. It's not doing anything for whatever reason. Just hit enter. It's thinking probably not enough CPU or memory. Okay. Okay, what are you doing? Still not doing anything. That's a little weird. So while this is, oh, it's actually going on over here. Start installation, and the installation process is actually working. No, Microsoft, you are actually doing stuff, and I'm actually stupid right now. Okay, so this is going on nicely, and you see this red button. That means the operation is actually ongoing. If you used to use the PowerShell ISC, you know what that means. Once this is done, you'll see that that square will go away. So we are about 90% done installing the web server in our virtual machine, which is the VM3, where we are installing the IIS. Okay, so let's see what happens. Now look, that red mark is gone. So now it says true and success. So IIS is done. So now this is what I'm expecting. Now if I go and hit enter, I was expecting website, but I don't see any. Now, why don't you see any? Because probably you gotta go and fix your NSGs. Where am I? So this one we don't need anymore. This one I can still use it for a little bit. So this is the one where we have to go to the VM, okay, and go to networking. Go to, so there is, if you see, there is port 80 is not open, so let's add an inbound rule, and any let's open up port 80 and say port 443. Let's open up both of them, and 8443 is the rule that I'm going to configure and hit add. So this is now adding a rule where in this NSG you are telling that, hey, it's okay to allow the port 80 and port 443, which are used by the web traffic, HTTP and HTTPS, to connect. So sometimes it takes just a minute, but I'm just gonna go over here anyway and hit enter to see what is going on. So still nothing. While that's going on, another thing I want to check in here, this is still the virtual machine 3. Let's make it a little bit bigger and open up Internet Explorer from inside this machine. And what I would like to do, just say localhost and hit enter, and I know that it got installed because the localhost is nicely resolving to my web page. Okay, so now let's go back out of this window from internet. Now, oh, what am I doing? So yeah, over here, what, look at that. Now over here is automatically got refreshed. So from my machine this is okay. So even if I open up, let me prove that it's now resolving properly. So over here, if I click a new private window, and this is my own host machine, and do this, and hopefully it will be able to resolve, and it did. So my server is running. And now the last thing that we need to check, if I do www.bengali.org, is it resolving to this or not? Now look at that, it just did. Okay, so again, to prove, I'm going to open up another incognito window, okay, and put this, okay, and then hit enter, and it should take me to the Azure where this page is hosted. All right, so that's the full demonstration how we create the public DNS first. Okay, so let's go back and just go over the steps that we have done. Okay, so we created a public DNS. Okay, in this DNS I have used a real website, which is bengali.org, that I own. And then what we did, once we have the DNS zone, we added a DNS record. Okay, and we said, okay, your in your DNS, okay, let me close this, in your DNS, close this, in your DNS record that you have, let's just go back actually to that private DNS zone. Hold on. bengali.com, bengali.org. So DNS zones, bengali.org. So what we said, uh, this www record I have added, okay, and that record that I have, that record points to the virtual machine which is hosted at 51.140.142.16. Then in this machine we have installed a web server, and then we verified the web server is accessible via the IP. So then the only thing was remaining to verify if bengali.com will take me there, and it did. The other thing we did, we updated our name servers from our domain provider, and we said, hey, domain provider, don't use your own name servers, please use this. And that's all about how you use a public DNS in Azure and how to create records. Now over here you can add a whole bunch of other records. If you had a CNAME, if you had an alias, you can use that one to point. If you're hosting a mail server, you would use MX. For any services, you'll use this, and things like that. Okay. Hopefully this video was useful to you. If you like this one, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and leave your comments. Have a great day. Thank you.